Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 12 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a Q&A. Now, this is where I take all of the questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. First of all, please remember that you're getting my raw, unfiltered opinions. Also, please remember, I don't read these questions beforehand. So you're kind of getting an off-the-cuff answer to the question. If I think a question deserves a longer video, I'll probably put a longer video together for that in the future. Also, I film these pretty early on in the week, normally a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Today, it's Monday afternoon. It's the only day this week I'm going to be able to film this. If you want to guarantee to get your questions answered, you want to make sure that you put them into the Q&A realistically by Monday morning, because that way I will definitely answer them. If I've missed a question that you've asked, I'm very sorry. I promise I will get to it next week. Now, with that all being said, I want to say one more time thank you for everybody's support. This channel exists because you guys watch it. If it wasn't for you guys watching this channel, I wouldn't be doing it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into it with this week's Q&A. Okay, so the first question is from Stephen Mills, who says, surprised to hear you say you don't use the memorized deck. Didn't you do an extensive project on that not too long ago? Is it something you've pulled from your repertoire for one reason or another? If I gave you that impression, Stephen, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. I use mnemonica. I love mnemonica. I use mem decks all of the time. In fact, one of my latest projects that I've released, the Svengali project, has a routine that combines the Svengali deck with a memorized deck. I love mem deck magic. I might have said I love Stebbins. I kind of love everything. I love Stebbins. I love stack. I love stack deck work. But if I gave you that impression, I'm very, very sorry. As far as I'm concerned, a mem deck is one of the most powerful tools. And even if I haven't done it for a few weeks, every day I'm thinking, right, 1 is 4 of clubs, 2 is 2 of hearts, 3 is 7 of diamonds, 4 is 3 of clubs, 5, because I just never want to lose the ability to be able to do the mem deck. So yes, I do love the mem deck and I will carry on doing it forever. Okay, so the next question is from Colin Jones, who says, hi Craig, one question: when trying to be original in creating an effect, is there anywhere we can search to see if the effect or the trick already exists? That's a great question. Here's my advice. There are places like the Conjuring Archive and library.com and places like that you can go to, but typically they're run by one person and the information in there sometimes can be a little bit incomplete, although they are fantastic resources. I would suggest getting a relationship with somebody who is very, very knowledgeable about magic and very knowledgeable about the history of magic. In my case, when I'm trying to think of things through like this, I'll go to Sean Dunn from Penguin Magic. I'll go to Lloyd Barnes from Murphy's Magic. I'll go to Peter Nardi and Andy Smith from Alakazam. I'll speak to Mark Elsden, who is very knowledgeable. If it's something to do with family entertainers or a kid show prop, I'll speak to Alec Powell, who is also very knowledgeable. Those are the people that I'd kind of go to. I have a group of people that I can say, hey, I've got this idea. Can you tell me if that's been done before? Nemid Phoenix is very well read. He's a great person to speak to. And it's also very, very friendly and helpful if you reach out to him. But you want to make sure that those people in your circle that you're speaking to are people that you can trust. I have had it in the past where I've shown an idea to somebody and then a little while later it's come out as their own idea. So you want to be very careful and you want to make sure that you pick the people that you're going to for help and advice. Make sure that they are people that you can trust. That's the thing that I would say. But over and above all of that, yeah, there are places that you can go. There's lots of places, but have a big library. Try to do the research yourself. Google it. So if you've got a trick, let's say you've created a coin trick where a coin goes into a lemon. So Google coin in lemon magic trick and go down a rabbit hole of a couple of hours of Googling and see if anything like that has been done before. Do your research. Look at the Magic Cafe. Use lemon magic as a search parameter. Just really kind of do your research. As part of the job as a creator is to do your research and do your due diligence when you're creating a trick, and make sure that you've got the crediting list correct. And as I say, there are websites that will help you with that. but you want to have a friend group around you that you can trust, that are more knowledgeable than you. It's that old expression, isn't it? You are the sum total of five. The people that you hang out with. You want to make sure you're the most stupid person there. You hang out with people that are like really super intelligent, because then you'll learn something. That's what I try to do anyway. Okay, so the next question is from Bryselphia, who says, what is the advantage of joining a magic club like the Magic Circle or the Magic Castle? I live in California near the Magic Castle, and I was considering joining either the Magic Castle or the Magic Circle, and I was wondering what the advantage it would be of doing so. Okay, so I can't tell you about the Magic Castle. I've been there. I've had a guided tour around there, but I can't really tell you about the Magic Castle because I'm not a member. What I can tell you is it's a wonderful place to visit, and it's a place that you can see some amazing shows. So, I mean, one reason to join the Magic Castle would be to have access to that building and be able to go, and especially if you live nearby in California. But I mean, the other reason to join the castle or the circle or any magic club is to be around like-minded people. Be around like-minded people that love magic just like you. The problem is our hobby is kind of secretive. Ryland has this. He gets really frustrated at school because none of his friends do magic, and he doesn't bother talking to people about magic at school because they just won't understand, and all they care about is wanting to learn how the tricks work. So he tends not to kind of really talk about magic when he's in school. It's something he does when he goes to the Young Magicians Club or hanging around conventions or with me at home. So one of the big advantages is being around like-minded people, being around people that you can sit down and you can session with, you can build up relationships. I think that's kind of a really important thing. In terms of the Magic Circle, people join the Magic Circle and like getting themselves put into positions where they're on the council, for example, and kind of taking more responsibility, which is great. That's something that hasn't appealed to me, really, to be perfectly honest, but it's something that a lot of people are interested in, kind of making the Magic Circle the best it can be, and that's wonderful, and that's all well and good. It's a place to go and see lectures. I mean, the Magic Circle, they meet every Monday, and there's a lecture on every single Monday. There's hands-on sessions. So it's a great place to go and see lectures. Also, if you're an online member, so if you don't live anywhere near the circle, maybe you're in a different country or in another part of England, you can watch all of the lectures live over Zoom. They'll stream them. So you can see everything live, and there's a big archive of all of the past lectures from years and years and years gone by. There's lots of stage events that you can go to, lots of things that are happening in the theatre. There's a big library, there's a big museum. If you've got friends that are coming into London from a different country, for example, or something, you can take them into the Magic Circle as your guest. There's a lot of advantages of being in the Magic Circle. The further you go away, the less advantages there are. Like, I live in Birmingham. To get to the Magic Circle, it's about 3 hours. I don't go there every week for that reason, but when I go there, I have a great time. So yeah, that's what I'd say. I would recommend anyone join the Magic Circle. Another big benefit of joining the circle if you're in the UK is a lot of people recognise the Magic Circle as being the premium magic authority for magicians in this country. So you say that you're in the Magic Circle and it almost feels like that you're more of a professional. I don't know if that's the case with the Magic Castle in America. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of advantages, but mainly it's a social thing, getting to see the lectures, getting to hang out with other magicians, that sort of thing. Okay, so the next question is from, again, Bryselphia, who says, if you could only purchase and release future magic with only one company, which would it be and why? That's a very difficult thing to say right there, Bryselphia, because what I love most about me as a creator is the eclectic experiences that I have working with all these different production companies. So when I work with Anarchist Am, it's a different experience than I work with Penguin. It's a different experience than when I work with Murphy's, for example. I have a different experience with each individual production company that I work with. What I will say is, if you put a gun to my head and you made me choose that I could only work with one production company ever again, I think it would be Penguin. I think. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is I love Columbus. I love having a reason to go over to America. And I have especially grown to love Columbus, Ohio. And having that reason to go over there is wonderful. Also, I get on really well with the people at Penguin. I get on really well with Sean and Mandy and Eric and Nick and Gally and Dalton. I consider them all friends, and I have a wonderful time every time I'm over there. So probably Penguin, because it's far more exciting going on a plane over to Penguin Magic than it is driving down to Kent on a winter weekend, or whatever it may be. So as much as I love Alakazam, and I will always love Alakazam, and they're always going to be in my fam, it's got nothing to do with which is the best company to work with or anything. It's just the fact that I like traveling and I like going abroad, and I get to go over to America quite a lot working with Penguins. That's probably one of the main reasons. But yeah, that's the advantage. I'd definitely say Penguin. Yeah, but I'm never going to choose. If I was ever in a situation where I had to just work with one production company, I'd probably just give it up, because I love being eclectic and working with lots of different production companies. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so the next question is Donald J. White, who says, first of all, thank you so much for rekindling my interest in magic that started when I first went to a magic shop in Disneyland age 7. My main love has been close-up magic. I got to see Paul Gertner do his cups and steel balls about 10 feet away when I was younger. Wow. And you put there, wow, mind-blowing. I really like coin magic at best, but for years it seemed like there was only scotch and soda and a few things out of Bobo's that caught my eye. Then I found you and your elite range on YouTube. Thank you for bringing out fresh ideas and massive amounts of routines. You're more than welcome, Donald. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. Enough about me. What's going on with the download for your Svengali project? I can't seem to bring it up. Thanks for all you do. It's available right now on Alakazam, my friend. You can get it as a download or you can get it as a physical product. You just go to Alakazam. So just go to alakazam.co.uk, type in Craig Petty, and you'll see a list of stuff that comes up for me. Look for the Svengali deck. When you project, and when you get on there, you can select download only, or you can select physical product, and then just go to the checkout, and it'll be in your account at Alakazam Magic. It's that simple. So yeah, go look at it, go check it out. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for your kind words. Okay, so the next question, again, is Bryselfia, who says, hi, Craig. 2 questions for you. Okay, cool. We'll take them one by one. Firstly, I know that you've been incredibly busy, but is there still a plan to teach Matt Level Up? I've just picked it up and I would love to learn this alongside him. Yes, that is something that we are going to be doing very, very soon. The trouble is we filmed the Level Up thing, and then Matt went on tour with Ryland. I then went over to America. We came back, we went over to Ireland, and then Ryland ended up going over to the south coast and the east coast and all over the place. And then we've been playing catch up over the summer. September is one of the busiest times of the year for us, because we tend to find September, everybody, not everybody, but you get less inquiries in August, because parents have gone away, they're not planning birthday parties, corporates are away for the summer, they're not planning events, and then people come back in September and they're like, oh my god, we've got to plan all of this stuff. So we're right in the middle of having a load of Halloween bookings come in, a load of Christmas bookings coming in, and Matt works in the sales department. I oversee sales and marketing, so because of that we have been balls to the wall. It has been so ridiculously busy, but we are going to get to that very, very soon. So yeah, you can learn it alongside him. He will be learning it. So thanks very much for the memory jog, but it's not being forgotten. It's on our whiteboard of stuff that we need to film, and it's right at the very top. Okay, so one final question from Bryselfia, who says, as I've gone out and performed more and more, my confidence has risen. Flight Time and Failure have been excellent teachers. I'm now performing routines off Nightshade and the Magic Button. I'm having a blast doing so. That is amazing, man. That is really amazing. I've even been able to combine the apparition set with a Raven and come up with my own routines. That's awesome. That's what magic's all about. Magic truly is addicting. Yes, it is. However, occasionally I find my hands will shake, even though I don't feel nervous at all in the moment. I find it more annoying than anything else, and I was wondering if you had any advice on how to deal with shaky hands. It just happens, buddy. It happens. My hands used to shake all of the time, and you say it's not nerves. And a lot of the time, maybe it won't be, but sometimes, it can be nerves without you even realising it. My advice would be to be fluid when it comes to your choice of material, because until the shaky hands go away, and it will go away, the more you practice, the more you rehearse, the more flight time you have, I promise you it will go away. Until that actually happens, though, I would suggest that you have like a couple of really easy self-working tricks that you can pull out at a moment's notice. And I think that's really important. I really do. Because if you find yourself in a situation, excuse me, if you find yourself in a situation where, you know, you're performing something off Nightshade, for example, and it's not the easiest trick in the world, and you can feel your hands starting to shake, you might want to take a step back. If you're doing a set of routines, you might want to take a step back at that point and go, well, hang on a minute, let me just change things up a little bit. I'm going to show you this and do this self-working trick. Random Card Generator by Jeff Price is a perfect example of this. There's absolutely no skill at all. You don't even touch the props, and yet the magic happens. Having something like that on board will really help. But the only thing to completely cure you of it is to know your routines inside out, back to front, left way, sideways. And that comes from rehearsal and flight time. That's the two most important things that I would suggest for you. Okay, so the next question is from Divishan Magician, who says, I was at a wedding fair talking to another magician exhibiting there. I asked him what tricks he shows to couples, and he lied and said just card tricks. I was just asking because I love to talk about magic. I know this was a lie, as when I was walking around later, I saw him do lots of other things and actually not even one card trick. Also, the videos he posted after the fair had loads of other types of tricks. What do you think is the reason for him for lying? I have no idea why he had to lie. First of all, right, okay, so Divishan, don't worry about it. Look, I know, because I see the questions that you ask, how important magic is for you. And I also see how important it is that you make a huge success of your career. And trust me, with your ambition and drive, you are going to be successful. I know you are. I can just tell. You're wired that way. But what you don't want to do is allow any distractions, right? Don't, ask yourself a question. Who cares? Who cares? What does it matter? This has obviously got to you because you've asked the question, why was he lying? I have no idea. You've thought about it enough to write a paragraph on a question here about me. You've watched his social media afterwards. Who gives a shit? Look, at the end of the day, if you're at a wedding fair and he's there and you're there, you're competition. That's it at the end of the day. There's a time and place to talk magic. There's a time and place not to talk magic. There's a time and place for business. You've spent money to be at that wedding fair. He spent money to be at that wedding fair. You are going to be performing tricks to the same brides and grooms that he's performing tricks to. You are technically competing against each other. The people who want to book a magician will at some point be choosing between the two of you. You know, you can be best of friends, but you also, at this point in time, competitors. Don't just focus on your own stuff. Don't worry about what is happening. You know, if something like this happens and you've got yourself into a situation where you think somebody's lying to you, ask yourself a question. What does it matter? How does it affect your business? Whether he chooses to lie to you or not lie to you, how does that affect your business? How does that affect what you're going to show the brides and grooms? It doesn't. You're not going to change. If you've got a series of tricks that you like doing, you wouldn't change that for a million years, despite what he says to you, right? So don't worry about it. Don't let it affect you. Don't let anybody live rent-free in your head, which is kind of what you're doing right now. And in terms of this guy, he might not have lied. He might just want to do card tricks. But then, you know, people might have asked the question, do you just do card tricks? I don't know. It could be that he's changed his mind. It could be that he decided he wanted to do something else other than card tricks. It could be he's lied to you. It could be, I don't know. Who cares? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? First of all, I have no idea why he's lied. I wasn't there. I don't even know who you're talking to. So asking me what the reason is for somebody lying to you that I don't know in an environment I've never been to, I have no idea. But also what I can tell you is I don't care. You shouldn't care. No one should care. You focus on being you. You focus, set yourself a goal. I am going to book 10 weddings today. That is my goal. That's what you focus on, not what the other guy's doing, what you're doing. Okay, another question from different Magician. Have you ever done Earworm by Mark Kirstein, and due to no fault of your own, the venue Wi-Fi just stops and becomes incredibly slow, meaning the input doesn't work and it just remains on the fake loading screen when they turn the phone over? What's a good backup for this? Things to say to them when this happens? My advice would be, like, I don't really do Earworm. I've seen people kill with it. I've seen people slay with it. It's not something that I've ever done. I tried it when I first got it, and it doesn't fit my style. But I mean, it's Mark Kirstein. He's a genius, right? But my advice would be proper preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. The 7 P's that I live by: proper preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. You should have everything scouted out to the nth degree. If you're in a venue where you have to rely on their Wi-Fi because you haven't got a good 5G signal, don't do something that uses internet, because Wi-Fi can go down. It can happen. I've had lots of situations where Wi-Fi has gone down. It could be that Wi-Fi slows down. If you've got millions of people in that room, or if there's a problem or anything, it could stop. As you know, because you say that's happened to you. You've got millions of tricks that you can do. Just pick a different one. Do Earworm when you've got a strong 5G signal. Do Earworm when you know 100% that the Wi-Fi is going to work. Don't do it when you're in a gig and it because what can you do? I don't really do Earworm, buddy. I don't know. I really don't know. What's a good backup to this? Things to say when this happens? I don't know, because I don't know. I can't remember. I did Earworm years ago. I can't remember what the fake loading screen looks like. I can't remember anything about it. What I would say, and I've talked about this on the channel before, is when you perform, you think about every trick that you're doing, and you think about how it could go wrong, and you come up with a solution for it, so that if it does go wrong, you're not having to make that decision on the spur of the moment. Right? I advocate this all the time. I've done videos in this in the past. And it's very, very important, because we never make good decisions when we're stressed. Right? You tend to make the worst decisions. So the way to make sure that you make good decisions is to take the stress away. How do you make the stress away? Well, you make the decision when you're not stressed. So you think about everything that can go wrong with the trick, and you come up with a solution for it. If you're thinking of a trick and you can't come up with a solution for something that could go wrong, I ain't doing that trick. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter how good the trick is. I'm not doing that trick. So if Earworm, one of the things that you go is you say, well, what would happen if the Wi-Fi went? Well, it wouldn't work because you're stuck on this loading page. Well, for me, that's it. Game over. I'm not doing it then. It ain't something that's going into my act. But if you do want to do it, know that this is a possibility, and only do it when that won't happen. So that's what I would suggest. I'd think through everything that could go wrong and try to come up with a solution ahead of time. And if there is no solution, maybe bin the trick. Okay, so the next question is from Standard, who says, "Hi Craig, thanks for all your answers. You're more than welcome. Your advice will definitely be taken, and I'm desperately planning to show a trick or two to small groups of people I will meet from now onwards. And another seed has been planted in my soul. I'll add the following to my bucket list. Visit Alakazam someday. Best at a time when you're there as well, meaning all of those people there, and having a chat. Maybe spending a beer or two with you, and hopefully getting a chance to engage in a whiskey test with Matt. I'm sure Matt would love this, and so would I. Sleep is an ad copy of death, and dreams are just for the advertisement purposes. Those get removed in the finally marketed product. In a nutshell, thank you for all you've been and done so far. You're more than welcome, man, and thank you for your support. You've always been a big advocate of Magic TV and the Netrix, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much." Okay, so the next question is from David Blaine, who says, "Great video as always. Thank you very much, buddy. Can you film a whys and hows and compare Flux and Espionage?" I've been having fun with Espionage recently. It's been working really well for me. I've only just picked it up recently. Ryland and I reviewed it on a review show recently, and I've done it a few times, and it's gone really, really well. Now, I never got on with Flux. Flux never really worked for me. I know that my friend Thomas Maloney, who has been posting on the internet recently about this same situation, He bought Espionage at Blackpool, and he's gone back to Flux because he's found that Espionage doesn't work and isn't as reliable as he wanted it to be. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. I will happily compare the two. I've done a review on both of them in the past. And I am thinking about putting some routines together for all of those and doing a hows and whys at some point in the future. But in terms of which one's best, personally, I've found Flux to be inferior to Espionage, but I know that a lot of people prefer Flux to Espionage. So it's completely up to you. From my point of view, and that's all I can give you is my point of view, Espionage seems to be better, but I haven't done extensive testing. Okay, so the next question is from Archie Cox, who says, hey, it's been a while, so I hope you're well. I'm very well, Archie. I hope you are as well. I just learnt tattoo coincidence in the Netrix, and I wondered how you go about doing this in gigs, as pocket management is important, and this requires 2 decks of cards. Yes, it does. So there's a couple of different options. The first option, you got to understand, not every trick is suitable for every environment. Like some tricks are best for a formal close-up show or a parlor show or a situation where you've got a table. Some tricks are great for strolling. You pick the best tricks for the best situation that you find yourself in any given gigging situation. Now, in terms of tattoo coincidence, it does use two decks, but the decks end up being regular at the end. So, and I think I talked about this on the additional information on tattoo coincidence, but if I didn't, there is a way of doing that routine so that one of those decks is left in the Monica or Stebbins order, while the other one actually gets shuffled. And if it's not on there, you could very easily work out how to do that. So a lot of the time when I'm going to a gig, I'll pick 3 decks that I'm going to do with me. And it very much varies from gig to gig as to which decks that I'm going to use. But whichever decks I'm going to use, I normally have 3 of them in my pockets. And one of them is always a regular deck. A lot of the time, one of them is a stat deck, and then the other one is like a speciality deck or something like that. So if you've got 2 decks of cards, but you use this as an opener and you're left with a regular deck and a mem deck, you can now go in whichever situation that you want to go into. The other thing is, think about the routine. It is possible to adapt that to using just 1 deck. Think about why the second deck is there. It's there to get the prediction out, right? Well, if you don't get that prediction out, it is possible to do it with just 1 deck as well. So, think it through, make the trick your own. Just because I've presented it in a particular way doesn't mean that's the way it needs to be done. Okay, so the next question again is from Archie Cox, who says, how long do you spend with each group at a close-up gig? And again, it very much depends on the gig. Is it a corporate gig? Is it a wedding? Is it a private party in someone's back garden? It very much depends. So Thursday just gone, I was doing an event with Nemid Phoenix. There were about 300 people there. And it was like 2 hours from like 9 till 11 after some awards. And people were standing around chatting, drinking. There was a bar. There was a band in the other room, and we were just picking people off that weren't in there with the band, which was the majority of the people, to be honest. And we had to get around 300 people, and even though there were 2 magicians, we had to get around 300 people. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. So we were just keeping it very, very brief. We were doing like 4 or 5 minutes at each group, moving on to the next group, moving on to the next group. And also because they'd been drinking quite a bit as well, their attention span was shorter, which is another important consideration that you need to think of. But then over the weekend, I was doing a private party. I was doing a house party. There were like 30 people there, and I was there for 2 hours just walking around these 30 people. So I was spending a lot longer with each group, because if I just blazed through it within half an hour, I'd get around everybody very, very quickly. So I spent time with each group. Each group got like 10 or 12 minutes. So again, it very much depends. You want to try and get around everybody. So if you're at a wedding and there's 80 people, you want to try and get around all 80 people. If it's not always possible, like we've just taken a booking, and I tried to convince the client not to do this, but they wouldn't listen to me. They wanted 1 magician for 1 hour for 600 people, and I said to Matt, it's like pissing into the wind. It's just completely and totally pointless. So it's not always possible to get around everybody, but that's my goal. If I go into a room and there's 15 tables, I'm going to get around all 15 of those tables. It's more important to me that everyone gets a chance to see what I do. Okay, so the next question is again from Archie Cox, who says, when using Imagine, how can I reset it so that it starts printed for each group? Wowzers. Okay, so if you guys don't know what Imagine is, it's a deck by Harry and Peter Nardi, and it's a little bit like a brainwave deck. The only difference is, instead of the brainwave deck, it's a deck of cards in essence that it's a deck of cards that in essence are printed, but each card is different. It's from a different deck, and so you bring out the deck and you say, hey, let me show you something here. I've got all of these cards. They're all from different decks of cards, 52 cards from 52 decks. Do me a favor, say stop, have a look at that. You do some mind reading, and then the deck turns blank. And the end of it is you've shown the deck's blank. Well, there's a couple of different options in terms of reset. The first option is that you literally just walk away from the table and just put that bottom card to the top and you reset, ready to go again. There's nothing wrong with that. The second option is you have two routines with this deck. The first routine starts off with it printed and then they turn blank. And the second routine starts off with the deck blank and then they become printed. So each time you do the routine, it's set at the end of the routine, ready for the next group. That's the way that you could consider doing it, and it's very easy to go down that route. The third option is you make the reset of the deck a magical moment. So in terms of Imagine, you do the mind reading thing a few times, then the deck turns blank. That's the end of the routine. If you built a presentation up about, hey, you've saved these cards for years, this is a deck of cards that you've collected, 52 of your favorite decks, you've taken one card from each deck and you've created this random eclectic range of playing cards, and you'd like to show them something with it, and you do this whole thing and then they turn blank, you could then say, of course, the problem is with these cards blank, I feel really bad because I spent like 10 years putting this deck together and now I've just turned them blank. It's not special. So realistically, if I'm going to actually make this deck special, I need to bring it back to the way it was at the beginning. So if I snap my fingers, now look, the backs are back, the fronts are back, and I'm left with this deck of cards ready to go into whatever I want to go into. Thank you very much. You put the cards away, you put them away, and now you reset, ready to go again. So 3 options. 1, create the magical moment that resets the trick for you. 2, construct 2 routines so that the finish of the one routine is the starting position of the second routine and vice versa. Or option number 3 is you just reset it as you walk away from the table. Okay, so the next question is the drunk magic ukulele player who hasn't been around for a while. Hi, Craig. Sorry I haven't been in touch, but I've been quite ill since I came and saw Ryland in Blackpool last year. I still watch, though. Oh, man, I hope you're okay. Are you feeling better now? I hope you are. I was thinking the other day about if a movie was made of my life, who I would like to have play me. I sat long and hard and thought about it and decided on Warwick Davis or Denzel Washington. There's not much difference between the two of them, is there? Who would you like to play Craig Petty in a movie of your life? Wow. Wow. I don't know, man. Oh, who would I like to see? Gosh. I'm going to go with Jack Black. There you go, Jack Black. Jack Black is the guy for me. Jack Black, yes. I think he could pull off me very, very well. Not that anybody would want to see a story of my life, but I think if anybody was going to do it, Jack Black would be the man. Okay, so the next question is from Hugo Van Amersfoort, who says, great to hear you're good. I have a question too. Do you know any good material about dual reality and instant stooging? Yes, and I'm not going to tell you. The reason I'm not going to tell you is I've got a video planned for October, and it's a beginner's guide to instant stooging and dual reality, and it's everything I know about instant stooging and dual reality. Most of the time, you see this sort of stuff on stage, but I've got lots and lots of different techniques that I use to be able to do this close up. Anybody who's seen my coin routine empowerment, for example, that's a perfect example of something. The finale of that routine is a perfect example of both instant stooging and dual reality in a close-up environment. And there's a lot more that I can talk about as well. So yes, I have got information on it, and I'm going to be putting it out on video soon. So look out for that, but thank you for the question. Okay, next question is from Logan Sarani, who says, in my opinion, some magicians are not friendly because they have a big ego. Magic can be very ego-driven if the wrong people do it for the wrong reasons. I don't know if I agree with that, man. I don't know if I agree with that. And I'll tell you why. First of all, your statement is in two parts. Some magicians are not friendly because they have a big ego. And then the second part is magic can be even very ego-driven if the wrong people do it for the wrong reasons. Okay. So, the first part first. Some magicians are not friendly because they have a big ego. There's nothing wrong with having a big ego, man. There's nothing wrong at all with having a big ego. I would put it to you that most magicians have an ego. You wouldn't be performing on stage if you didn't have an ego. I mean, the whole point of, I was doing an illusion show recently with Matt, and I was like, he'd just come off stage and everyone was like cheering and clapping. I was like, dude, you love this, don't you? You live for this. And he's like, yeah, I live for this. And he's got an ego. Every performer I know has an ego, because if you didn't have an ego, you probably wouldn't be doing this. Now, I know there's people that are going to be watching this that are going to say, well, that's completely incorrect. Everyone has an ego to a certain extent. It's partly, what do you mean by having an ego? Let's define having an ego. Have a big ego, Definition of having a big ego. There we go. Definition of having a big ego. The concept of a big ego. A person with a big ego often has an inflated sense of their abilities and worth. They may believe they are superior to others, exhibiting a self-centered attitude and a strong desire for attention. Okay. An overinflated sense of their abilities and worth. They are superior to others. Now, look, I'll be honest with you. I have an ego. Anybody who is successful in business has an ego to some degree. Because if I don't believe that I'm the best in the world at what I do, how can I expect clients to book me? If I don't believe I'm really, really good, why would anybody... Right, okay. In any environment, in my business, if I don't believe that my company is the best, how can I sell people on having events through me? If I don't believe me personally as a magician or as a motivational speaker, if I don't believe in myself, how can anybody else believe in me? My friend Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, he has a thing where he says, hey, don't have a plan B, because if you have a plan B, it means you don't believe in your plan A. If you don't believe in your plan A, nobody else is going to believe in it either. Our goal when we're a magician, our goal when we're a business owner, our goal is to have a tribe of people that follow us, to create a brand. Because if we create a brand, and it's especially true with being a creator, right? As a creator, am I the greatest magician? If I'm honest with you, am I the greatest magician in the world? No. Am I the greatest creator in the world? No. There's a million people out there that are just as good as me. But I will stand high and tall and I'll say I am one of the best creators in magic, because I want to believe in myself. I want to create a brand, and I want people to follow me. I want people to watch my videos. I want people to buy my tricks. Else what's the point in doing all of this? And how do I do that? I do that by telling people how awesome I am. Now, you might disagree, and that's absolutely fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I honestly will tell you, most magicians, to a lesser or greater extent, have an ego. And then the next thing you say is magic can be very ego-driven if the wrong people do it for the wrong reasons. But what's the wrong people and what's the wrong reasons? What's the wrong people? Who are the wrong people? Who is it that you think are the wrong people in magic? And how do you get to decide who's wrong? How do you get to decide who are the wrong people? What are we going to do? Just say to a bunch of people, you can't be in magic because your ego is too big? You can't be in magic. You can't learn magic tricks. How is that fair? And what are the wrong reasons? What are the reasons to get into magic? Well, the wrong people do it for the wrong reasons. Well, the reasons I know that people become magicians is because they want to make money from it. They want to make it their job. They want to make money. They want to be financially secure doing magic. It could be that they want the fame and the adulation for it. They want to become famous. I can't think of many other reasons to do it other than it's fun and it's enjoyable and it's a great place to meet friends and, have that social experience. And that's all well and good. But what are the wrong reasons? Is it wrong for people to want to make money doing magic? Is it wrong for people to charge? Is it wrong to want to become famous doing magic? Like, what are the wrong reasons and what are the wrong people? Because you say magic can be very ego-driven if the wrong people do it for the wrong reasons. I don't see what the wrong people are. I don't see what the wrong reasons are. I also don't see how that's different if... Would it not be ego-driven then if the right people did it for the right reasons? And what are the right reasons? And who are the right people? And who decides who are the right people and who are the right reasons versus who are the wrong people and who are the wrong reasons? It's a very wishy-washy comment. I don't mean to be funny. I genuinely don't. But also, I'm not going to sit here and lie just because you've asked a question on the Q&A. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, that's a great question, man. In my opinion, you're wrong. But that's only my opinion. Maybe I've just got a massive ego and I'm just showing it. I don't know. But I don't think that anyone can decide that this person is in it for the wrong reasons. The only person who can decide that is... like I say, I don't even know what the wrong reasons would be. Maybe you can clarify. Why don't you clarify in the comments? Okay, so the next question is from Official Mystery, who says, Craig, your rattle dice routine was in my account at Penguin. That's good to know. So for people that have been asking rattle dice, my routine that I taught at Penguin Magic is in the accounts of everybody at Penguin Magic. That's good. So check out my routine. It's really awesome. It's like a 6-phase routine. Go check that out. And yeah, thanks for letting me know. Okay, so the next question is again from Official Mystery, who says, Hi, Craig, love your videos. You seem like a very busy guy. Any advice on booking gigs? I've had quite a lot of trouble at times trying to book stuff. Yeah, man, I've done videos on this a mile long. What I would say to you is be so good that they can't ignore you and make yourself visible. Be everywhere. There's 2 ways to get gigs. And the first way is to spend a metric fuck ton of money on advertising, SEO, pay-per-click. You spend a fortune on a really good website. You spend a fortune on digital marketing, digital advertising, and then you get a ton of leads coming in. You convert those leads into bookings and job done. It can be a very expensive way of doing it, but it's one way of doing it. The other way is to just work hard, making sure that you're everywhere. The cool thing is it's fairly easy to book gigs if you haven't got any money. You just have to let everyone know who you are and where you are. So go out to networking events and show everyone who you are and what you do. Make sure that you've got a massive presence on social media so that when people see you on social media, they're like, yeah, that's the guy that we want at our event. Go out to, Dynamo used to just crash parties with celebrities in and have pictures taken with celebrities, and that's how he got his start. And I'm not saying that's the right way of doing it, but you need to hustle, man. You need to hustle. You need to be out there everywhere, right? And the cool thing is, if you're prepared to work hard, you can do all of that. Like, you can do SEO yourself. You can do web design yourself. All of this stuff you can do yourself. You just need to upskill yourself. Think about all of the different things that you need in order to become a business owner, in order to become a successful magician. Think about all the different things that you need to be able to do, and then teach yourself. The beautiful thing is you don't need to go to university to learn this stuff anymore. There's this thing called YouTube. It's free. You can go on there. You want to learn how to run a PPC campaign? Go on YouTube. You want to learn how to do SEO on your website? Go on YouTube. You want to know how to do PR and get yourself on radio and get yourself on TV? Go on YouTube. Work hard. Go out there and absolutely kill it. Go and smash it and let everyone know who you are. That's basically it. Be really visible. Be everywhere. Marketing can be summed up in 2 words. Be visible. Be that person that everybody sees. And have a really great act. Be original, be different, understand your brand, put something together that makes you different to everyone else, and then visit every entertainment agency, every event planner, every corporate event planner, every entertainment planner, and shout from the rooftops who you are. And you work hard enough and you keep putting yourself out there, eventually you'll be successful. It's not easy, and I guarantee you, if 10 people have heard me say this now and they're like, you know what, we're going to do this, 9 of them in 2 years are going to quit. But 1 person is going to make it. It could be you. It very much depends. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's a lot easier to sit down, put your feet up and watch Netflix. It's a lot easier to sit there and do nothing. You want to be successful. You want to go out and book more gigs. Get off your ass. That's what a friend told me once. Get off your ass. Go out and do it. There's people out there that are walking the walk and people out there that are talking the talk. Don't be the person that talks the talk. Be the person that walks the walk. Make things happen. Don't wait for other people to give you opportunities. Go out and make your own opportunities. Take risks. Kick down doors. Never give up. Never give up. Keep moving forward. Tell people you're going to make it. Set goals. Work hard. Be visible. Be everywhere. Never give up. And I guarantee you'll be successful. Okay, so the last question here is from Andy Putt, who says, earlier this year I asked about competitions on stage and hows and whys, with also things like technical possibilities in the stage, etc. Will this video come on the channel, and when do you think it'll come? Yes, it's coming in October. It is ready. We have a whiteboard in the office with all of the different things that we're filming, and that's very, very high up on the list. I have to do the research. I can't just sit here and talk crap. I have to actually think about what I'm saying. But I'm ready to film that one. So that will hopefully be up by October. We've just put up the hows and whys of Tool by David Stone, which was very requested. So yeah, we're going to get to that very, very soon. Okay, next question again is from Andy Putt, who said, everybody asks you about going on Penn and Teller, but was Ryland want to go on Fool Us? He would love to. It's his ambition to go on Fool Us. He would love to go on Penn and Teller Fool Us, and it's never happened. We've never found the right thing for him to be able to go on with. Maybe one day, I don't know. Possibly, possibly not. I'd love to see Ryland on Penn and Teller Fool Us. I really would. But he'd need to find the right piece. And I don't know if I'm the right person to create magic for a Penn and Teller performance, because the magic I create isn't designed to fool magicians. The magic I create is designed to be performed professionally in a real world. It's designed to be performed to real people. It's designed to be shown to real people. And I don't think that meshes really with Penn and Teller. So I don't know. I'd love to see him go on it. Time will tell. Okay, so the very final question here is from Andy Putt, who says, how do you deal with music you use in a competition? I know there are music rights by the writer and the performer. Could you explain some rules about this and if it's different in other countries? I'm actually doing a video coming up soon, Andy, about music. I'm going to be talking about musicality, the importance of using music in an act. I'm going to be talking about how to develop music. I'm going to talk about the legalities behind music. I'm going to talk about music licenses. I'm going to talk about absolutely everything. That video is coming by the end of September. So I'm not going to tell you that now because it's going to be answered in that video. But thank you for asking the question. So there you go, guys. That's another Q&A in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Talk Magic from yesterday. I had Chris Dugdale on the channel, and he was amazing. He's talking about his new book, which is amazing. And then later on tonight, I'm going to be doing a full performance and review, a review show special on Titanus's brand new trick, Stitch, which is taking the magic world by storm. So there's a lot happening right here on Magic TV. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already done so, please join the Netrix. I get people asking me all the time, how can you support me? I'd love people to try out the Netrix. It's my magnus opus to the magic community, and I really do believe that it's something special, and every day, in every way, it gets better. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.